Stand with your feet hip width apart with the arms at the side or in front of your body and not on the hips. Keep the heels in contact with the ground at all times. As you squat, attempt to keep the knees in line with the hips and the feet and the back in the neutral position, just as it was while you were standing. Keeping your body weight over the front foot, step backwards and land in control. Maintain alignment on your front foot through your hip, knee, and foot. Push into the ground, extend your front hip, and propel your body upwards back to the start position.
Going to hinge from the hips with a slight bend in the knees. Pressure is going to stay in the center of our foot as we drop our chest down to the ground. Again, still maintaining that flat back as we go through that full range of motion. Notice as Beth goes through, her shoulders are pinched down and back, and she's moving from the hips, again, not from the back as she hinges down.
We'll have our hands directly underneath our shoulders, rolling our shoulders back and away from the ears. We'll be setting up our feet at about hip width apart and ensuring that our trunk is nice and stiff to reduce any low back movement. From the side here, you can see that we want to maintain a nice straight line from that shoulder down to the hip, all the way down to the heel.
Shoulders are still pulled down and back and still hinging from the hips to get into that position, but now we're actually going to move the elbows behind your body and extend forward. As I'm moving, my shoulders are going to follow my elbows back, and I'm still pinching down and back with my shoulder blades. I still have lots of space between my ears and my shoulders, and I'm driving my elbows back and pinching back.
To initiate the squat, you're going to send your hips back and down. You can bring your arms out just in front of you to counterbalance, and making sure that your back stays flat, core is braced, and knee is traveling in a straight line with your big toe and your hip.
For this static lunge, we'll set our feet up nice and wide just outside of our shoulders. We're going to keep our feet planted on the floor the entire time as we shift our body weight over to one side, making sure that our knees are nice and in line with our feet. Lastly, making sure we keep our chest nice and upright.
Start off lying down flat on your back, heels tucked closer to your hips, feet flat on the ground. You're going to drive from the center of your foot and drive your hips up to the sky. At that point, you want to make sure your hips are extended all the way through and your back is flat. You're not extending at your ribs. The extension comes from your hips.
In this exercise, you're holding a high plank position while tapping your hand from opposite shoulder to opposite shoulder. This can be made easier or harder by your feet and hand position. So the wider your feet are, the easier this exercise is, and the less that you're likely to rotate from side to side when you take your hands off the ground.